Hello and welcome to my channel. My name is David Novak. I'm going to read a brief passage from Memory for Forgetfulness about a day in the 1982 siege of Beirut, written by Mahmoud Darwish. This small portion details the occurrence of what he calls a vacuum bomb. It's a weapon variously called the fuel-air explosive or concussion or vacuum bomb. So I won't read the entire footnote that came from, but let us hear Mahmoud Darwish. A vacuum bomb. It creates an immense emptiness that annihilates the base under the target, the resulting vacuum sucking the building down and turning it into a buried graveyard, no more, no less. And there below, in the new realm, the form keeps its shape. The residents of the building keep their previous shapes and the varied forms of their final choking gestures. There below, under what a moment ago was under them, they turn into statues made of flesh with not enough life for a farewell. Thus, he who was asleep is still sleeping. He who was carrying a coffee tray is still carrying it. He who was opening a window is still opening it. He who was sucking at his mother's breast is still sucking. And he who was on top of his wife is still on top of her. But he who happened to be standing on the roof of the building can now shake the dust off his clothes and walk into the street without using the elevator, for the building is now level with the ground. For that reason, the birds have remained alive, perched in their cages on the roof. And why did they do this? The commander-in-chief had been there and had just left. But did he really leave? Our anxious question turned him from a father figure into a son. We didn't even have time to question the question. He'd been there. So what? Does that give them the right to exterminate 100 people? So, just in recognition of the genocide which appears to be occurring in Gaza, I post these videos usually a couple days after I film them, but I am responding somewhat to something another booktuber had posted a week or more back, in which he asked when this is going on and other things, how can I post happy videos? Posting happy videos is what I like to do. Well, I won't say that any of my videos are particularly happy, but in this life, in this limited span of life which is left to each of us, you should not squander your moments of happiness. I'm not saying that that is the only response. I have always felt, well, if I am able to enjoy some happiness, I should do that for those people who are unable to do so. But as I say, that is not the only response. I think the council in the Warsaw Ghetto, as it was being eliminated, sent out a message to Jews everywhere, advising them to commit suicide, and that request or command was acted on in at least one case that I know of, detailed in the book by Jan Karski. So I'm not saying that being happy is the only means of responding to events which are happening elsewhere in the world. But I feel that while one is happy, if one is happy, then one ought not pretend that such events are not occurring or that everything is copacetic in the wide world. Animal rights activists are aware that yesterday or the day before, as I'm filming this, the activist Wayne Xiong lost on at least one or more counts of his recent case. I think he rescued a chicken or something like that and is now preparing to be incarcerated for a long time. He has already lost his freedom, and sentencing does not occur until November 30th. In my mind, sentencing should be time served or less than that. The state of humanity reflected by both of these things, the genocide in Gaza and the situation for animals in the food production industry, all need to be addressed and need not to be ignored. So I have been reading some of Mahmoud Darwish. He was a Palestinian poet. I'm not sure when he died, perhaps 1990, something like that, but you realize that the prison, which is Gaza, at least so I understand it to be, has existed as such for a long time. And so this occurrence of a vacuum bomb exploding, which is novel to me and perhaps to you, is not nearly so far-fetched for other people in the world, and we should be mindful of that. Thank you very much for stopping by my channel.